Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is a condensed version of today's episode of Undisputed, handpicked with the best segments and discussions. Skip, Shannon, let's go. The Giants were blown out by the Eagles last night, and they're sitting at the bottom of the NFC East at 1-5. But there was one bright spot. Rookie Saquon Barkley, the number 2 overall pick in the draft, finished with 229 total yards that were highlighted by 3 explosive plays for over 45 yards each, including a 50-yard touchdown run in the third quarter. All right, we are joined here in the studio by FS1 NFL analyst and Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson. Eric, let's start this conversation with you. Saquon Barkley, are we looking at a tremendous talent?
Most definitely. And I didn't watch a lot of Saquon in college. I've never been big. Never thought that no one would grow. The last guy to do well was Franco Harris. But when you see this guy, the thing I like about him most is acceleration. One thing you cannot coach in the NFL is speed. Right. And he has tremendous cutting ability for a running back. You have to put the dangerous. I see my acceleration, and he has that acceleration. He can go sideways and also cut it up right when you see the cut. Because he's making almost it's unbelievable. It's almost like he's doing a dance, like a quick dance. Boom, 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 boom. And I mean, when I say he gets it, and I always like when the back gets an open field. He's not doing this. He's not looking back. Look, I'm not worried about getting caught. You catch me, you catch me. And I just think I don't want to say he's great because I hate to tag great on the field. Me myself, I had a great rookie season, but I wouldn't say I was a great player yet. You have to prove it over and over.
Okay, but when I watched you as a freshman at SMU, I could sit. This is going to be, unless you get hurt, if you stay healthy, you're going to be all-time great. Do you see all-time great already?
If he stays healthy, yeah, he could be an all-time great. If he stays healthy, but he's on such a bad. I feel bad for him. I mean, he's on a bad football team. I don't care how great you are. If you don't have those guys up front, I never had a real great quarterback. But, I was able to do it. Barry Sanders never had a great quarterback. But you want that, but man, he's on a bad, and I really feel bad because of that. But can he be great? Most definitely.
He's been as good or better than advertised. You can understand why Dave Gettleman says he's been touched by the hands of God. Because if you watch him in practice, if you watch him in the game, he does things even more spectacular in practice. So David Gettleman had an opportunity to see him before we got an opportunity to see him in a giant uniform and see what he's capable of. But either you touched on it at the end. Can he be great? Yes. But not behind that offensive line for long, because he's dodging 4 or 5 people before he gets out of the backfield. And you look at how bad they are. How bad would they be if it wasn't for him? I mean, the one that he went 55 yards on, you got to think about it. It was like a 2-yard route that he juked the entire team, 5 people in the stands, and then accelerated. Because if you watch him, I don't know if I've seen too many guys that can leave their feet, and when their feet hit the ground, he's almost full speed again. That's what makes him so unbelievable, Skip. And you talked about he's a feast of famine. There are very few running backs that's ever had home run potential. Anytime they touch the ball at any place on the field, he can get going in a hurry. And he's that type of a guy. And his quarterback, just think if he had a quarterback the team had to respect. It's like we can't load this box because this quarterback gonna hurt us. Man, they're like later for you, Eli. And he's still getting the yards that he's getting, Skip, even after that one run he had. Yeah, man, he can do that. Because he can go sideways.
So you say cut sideways, and then turn it up.
He can do that.
So I'm not exactly seeing what you two are seeing, but I'm not in the Hall of Fame. So what do I know? But I've been pretty good at this, and I told you before the draft, when I watched him in the biggest games last year, Ohio State followed by Michigan State, he could not establish the run against those defenses. He couldn't pound the rock between the tackles consistently against those defenses, and I'm seeing it all over again in the NFL. Because the weird thing about Saquon is, even though he's listed at 6'2", and I don't doubt that he's in the ballpark of those jumps. 6'2", what'd you go, 6'3", 25. So he weighs 8 more pounds than you do, but he plays small to me. He plays like a littler back to me. His body language, when I see him in his uniform, he looks smaller than 233, and he runs smaller, which is why, to your point, he is a home run threat on every play. He's a threat to break loose on every play. But you cannot, and again, I'll give you a small break because maybe it's the line's fault, but I have not been able to see New York consistently establish the run by pounding the rock with him between the tackles. It's kind of like McCaffrey. You can't do it with McCaffrey. Do I love McCaffrey for all the little big things that he can do?
Yeah,
but he can't. He doesn't have this kind of break.
Yeah, but see, Max 205. This, But Skip, you remember we saw him here? He's thick. I mean, that joker back like an offensive, like a D lineman.
Okay, so if I go through each of his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, if I go through each game and I take away the one big run, the biggest gain of the game, I get a total of 78 carries for 228 yards, which is a 2.9 yard per rush average. Okay, that's if I take away the big one. I'll just give you some examples, like the opening game. He had a big 68-yarder. If I take that away against Jacksonville, he was 17 carries for 38 yards on all the rest of them. Let's just pick another game. Saints, he had a 28-yard run. The rest of the carries, 9 for 16 total yards. How about against the Panthers? He has a 30-yard run. The rest of the carries, 14 for only 18 yards. My Cowboys did the best job on him. He had a 10-yard run, but the rest of the carries, 10 for only 18 yards. Now, he catches it too. I'm not factoring in the catches.
Right.
So I'm going to give you the catches.
Okay. But here's the thing, though, Skip. You should be even more impressed because the offensive line, he's having to be spectacular just to get off those big runs.
There you go. Look, you.
But if you give him the slightest crease or escape route, if you give him a little crack,
Oh, yeah. He can get through it.
That's what you want.
and the acceleration is extreme.
For a
It
guy that
Right
size,
there. That's exactly what you want. Look, you can hold a guy down. You can hold Michael Jordan down. You can hold LeBron James down. You can hold Shannon Sharp down. But sooner or later, the big play is coming. Like you said, you know it's coming. You're just waiting for it to come, and it comes. You can't take that 60-yard away. Sometimes you have to have those that in the first half, 50 yards. You know, all you had to then all of a sudden, boom, you have a 60-yard run. Now you have a 20-yard run. That's what football is all about. It's not always about the big run, big run, big run, big run. I had some ugly games where I had 180 yards. They stuffed me for a while. We played the San Diego Chargers. They had stuffed me most of the day. I had a 65-yard run and put me over 150 yards. That's football. That's the sign of like I said, I don't want to say great, but a very good football player. He could be a great football player. My only concern is playing in New York behind that Giants offense.
Yeah.
I mean, because all those cuts, sooner or later, somebody's going to get
But
that.
all they did was go out and sign Tom Brady's best offensive lineman,
And how he
protector, left tackle.
And how did he look?
Nate Solder.
How did he look?
Well, I don't know. He got beat down on the goal
And
line.
he can't at the point of attack. But we've seen guys. Look at Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson first 2 years, 1750, 1750.
He was
35.
different. He just hammered. That was all guts,
Yeah.
man. I mean, it was just like
That
physical.
but that wears you down.
It does. Well,
You'll be like my friend Earl Campbell.
So what you think they're gonna do with this kid?
Okay, so I'm seeing actually a little more Barry Sanders than I'm seeing any Eric Dickerson or.
I thought about that.
Yeah, he got the
He's
jump
got some,
cut.
not quite.
Not quite. I agree with you. I
I mean,
saw that
because
too.
Barry's just like off the charts.
Nobody's ever gonna run like that again.
You go, wow, you
Yeah.
see that?
Oh, he lost 12 yards, but that was a bang up duty.
Okay, but I'm not seeing Zeke. I'm not seeing Le'Veon. I'm not seeing your man Todd Gurley because they're bigger, stronger between the tackles where they can establish themselves, and all three are capable, especially Zeke. If you just keep pounding him, he will wear down the defense until finally they just don't want to tackle him anymore. I don't see that in Saquon.
With that offensive line, you give him an offensive line like those guys got, Skip. I believe he can
My
do
Cowboys
it.
don't have an
Let me
offensive
tell you
line.
when the thing about the defensive line that they hate about a running back. You got a guy that's fast as making you run this way. They have to run laterally, because those guys are pushing on. After a while, this guy's like, man, I'm tired of chasing this little guy. And all of a sudden, that's when the big run happens.
Is that the little guy weighs 233?
Yes.
To me, it's still I'm big on the big over 6 foot backs. Real 6 foot, not the 5'11" 3/4. The real 6 foot, 6 foot.
There's not a whole lot of 6'3", 225
I
backs
know,
on the law
I
anymore.
right, I know.
And that's the thing. You look at him, he runs like a small back. But when he was sitting there, I said, look at that joker back on him. And he's small waisted, he big thighed. Oh, he can run through tackles too now. Because if you see him, he jump cut, took off, lowered his shoulder, broke I'm like,
Earl Campbell wasn't over 6 foot. tall. Earl Campbell's about 5'11".
He
Big
was in
legs,
the
thick.
same
Yeah.
size.
Not as fast as Saquon.
Heck no.
But Earl went jumping.
No,
Earl running
no.
through there.
This guy has what you call the third year. He really does, and you have to give it to him. Yeah. You cannot coach
Well,
that.
his first year is third year.
Right,
I mean, like
when he gets the ball, when he hits the ball, when he hits the line, it's quick. That was my thing. I said, just get me to the line of scrimmage unimpeded, and I'll do the rest. That's like him. Don't let me get hit in the back.
Well, they not doing it.
They're not doing it.
He got to dodge like 4 or 5 people, then get sideways, then get up to him. I'm like, man, but like I said, if he can get some protection, just let him get, Edie, like you said, just get to the line of scrimmage. And then once that happens, you're on your own. Wide receivers do a great job because anytime you get long runs, wide receivers going to have to do their job out on the edge, knocking people out you. But you got to get them to the line.
Quick 2 cents of advice for this young man that we did have on the show. There were a couple of times he got loose last night and he tried to get an extra 2 or 3 yards near the out of bounds by trying to run over a DB, and he took a couple of shots that you just can't take. He's not going to last if he wants to engage. And you know why he does it? He's such a great kid. He's all-time coachable. He's going to try to run
When
through
you're a
the
rookie,
brick
you try to
wall.
prove yourself.
I know.
You try to prove
It's
yourself.
funny you say that. That happened to me in St. Louis when against the Cardinals. I was on the sideline. I'm trying to push for more yards after the play was over. John dropped because it was the goal, the first down yard way down there. John said, "Hey, come here." He said, He said, "No, we go out of bounds. No one's enough." And sometimes you just have to be smart.
That's my position.
And he was Mr. Student Body Right at USC. With
Hey,
Saquon's a rookie. He'll learn.
put that blink on. Blink. My tight end coach told me, "Hey, son, know when the journey's over." Hey, they putting the right L's on you. You only got so many of those in you.
You got so many hits.
So I'm going to say this one more time. I am impressed enough with this young man, even though he plays the running back position as opposed to the quarterback. I think the Giants made the right pick in going with him over Darnold, over Rosen, over.
Yeah, he's the best running back in the
Josh
NFC.
Allen.
Yeah.
Huh?
Best running back in the NFC.
Hey, well, you didn't deal with my point.
know.
Why did you change the subject? I'm taking Saquon over those other 3, not over Baker Mayfield, but I'm taking him over those other 3 quarterbacks. I just don't love any of the 3 of them. I don't.
I know, but do you like Eli?
I like that. Yeah.
Do you like
Baker
Eli?
Mayfield,
No,
too.
but I'm just saying, if you make me make a choice of this kid versus those other 3 quarterbacks left on the board at that point, I'm going to go with this
But
kid.
you got to keep Eli then.
Okay, well then I got to wait till next year.
But you say there's nothing coming out
Well,
next
that's
year.
the way it's shaking out right now, unless I'm missing something.
You know what? I know why you like that. Because you don't want them to have a quarterback. Because you know when a team get a quarterback like old walking to him,
Yeah.
you in trouble.
I told
If
you.
the Cowboys go.
Oh, he already knows.
I told you Baker Mayfield, I'm taking him number 1, and if he had been there at number 2, I would have taken him over Saquon, for sure.
right,
He
all
will be more valuable
Oh, the quarterback is always more valuable.
unless you can't play.
Yeah.
A couple of them too.
Yes.
Eric, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
Will the Cowboys offense somehow find its way against the mighty Jags defense? We'll discuss it coming up.
Dude.
The Cowboys are a 3-point underdog at home this Sunday against the Jaguars. The Dallas offense is averaging just under 17 points per game, and now they're facing a Jags team that is ranked number 1 in total defense. Drama's been circling the Cowboys locker room all week after Alan Hearns called out the play calling and then took shots at the entire offense, including his QB, Dak Prescott. Said about Hearns' comments, quote, "Things have been addressed. We are great." And we are joined once again by Eric Dickerson. Edie, what do you think? Can the Cowboys score enough points against that Jaguars defense to walk away with a win?
But first of all, I got to say this. The ambassador's here. Still gave me the name, so I'm embracing it.
We're not talking about that.
Well, I just had to throw it in there anyway.
Thank you.
Because I'm going to give you a little Ram knowledge. And with the Cowboy knowledge also. Can they win? Yes, they can win. But this team reminds me of a team that I saw back in 2016. That was the Los Angeles Rams.
Uh-huh.
They had defense. They had no offense. They had a coach that had a real vanilla offense. They were 3-1. The Cowboys are 2-3. I kept saying when they were 3-1, the Rams are 3-1. I'm like, the implosion is going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the Dallas Cowboys. They have, just like the Rams, they had a great running back in Todd Gurley. They had They have a good. Cowboys have a good offensive line. A lot of injuries. The Rams did not have a good offensive line. The Rams have the worst receivers in the National Football League. The Cowboys probably have some of the worst receivers in the National Football League. I still like Dak Prescott. I do like him. I think the way that you beat the Jaguars is that you let your defense try to win this football. You win an ugly game. Run Zeke till he throws up. It's like, just
Have him go and get out.
just have to run it. Establish what the Cowboys' tradition has always been about: running the football and play. The Cowboys never. They had great defense when they won the Super Bowl, but this defense is a good defense. I mean, down in Houston, when they didn't go for it on that fourth down, that was, to me, that was no guts. I just got to say, you have to go back and look at. No one wants to, and I like Jason Garrett. I like him as a coach, but after a while, you have to start looking at the coach. Just like I looked at Jeff Fisher. I think all of us looked at.
Well, what had shown you in that game they could get almost 2 yards on fourth down?
You know what? You're on the road. You have nothing to lose, really. I mean, you're on the road.
You have the game to lose.
You lost it anyway. You lost it anyway.
No, but it's easy.
But let's go for it.
Nice 2020 hindsight.
But the season's not over with. Let's just go for it.
Deshaun Watson had
I
generated
said
2 field goals in the second half.
Even Jerry Jones questioned the call. Now, Jerry never questions his boy. I mean,
He always hindsight.
yeah,
But as well as his defense was playing, I think
that's it.
I thought he made the right call. Pin him down in the 10-yard line. Because it was a one-play game.
Really, but I still think you go for it. You go for it. You just go for it. Why not? But anyway.
You had just tried Zeke on third down and gone
Hey,
nowhere. You
know,
lost a half
what's
yard.
What's that play you always like, the read option?
Yeah.
How about running that read
Listen,
option?
I tweeted that. Like,
Yeah.
run the read option.
How about the read option?
It would have worked.
But do they have a chance to win? Yes. Will they win? No. They will not win.
Well, everybody has a chance to win.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not y'all.
Oh, okay.
Y'all don't have no chance. Yep, no chance. Zero, zilch, nada, none, nanka, nine.
That's
Is there any other, anything else you want to know?
Open the bear.
This is what I like about the Jags, because they can play man coverage without sacrificing extra rushing. They can come get that. I think they're good enough in their front seven not to do anything exotic, because you don't have to worry. Man, they got this receiver we're going to have to pay some extra attention to. You got Boye, you got Ramsey, you got 2 Pro Bowl corners outside, and Jags is the only defense that's allowing fewer than 200-yard passes, which is right up Dak Alley, because he's throwing for less than 200 yards. As a matter of fact, he's throwing for less than 180. NFL quarterback, baby, the guy that you said is one of the best quarterbacks, young and up and coming.
He is.
Throwing for less than 2. You ought to be ashamed of
I
yourself.
still like that.
Tom Brady said the NFL is a glorified college now. That's what he said. And you know everybody threw the ball in college. Everybody look good in college. And that can't even get to. But that's not. I ain't talking about that. Hold on. I don't know if you knew this. The Cowboys have the 30th ranked scoring offense. They're only ahead of Buffalo and Arizona. And if you don't mind me, Skip, did you know this? What does Arizona and Buffalo start at the quarterback position? Rookies. They start rookies.
Please, keep talking. Keep digging. You're digging yourself a deeper and deeper hole. Dig.
You won't let me talk. You won't let me talk.
You're like, you're shrinking underneath
Josh
the table.
Rosen and Josh Allen are
Dig.
living at the heel of Dak
Dig.
Prescott.
Keep going.
As bad as Eli playing, guess who got a higher QBR than Dak Prescott? Oh, Eli. As bad as he's playing, he looked like some hot garbage. But he's better than your guy right now.
I am so happy right now because this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted him to pick Jacksonville, and I really wanted him to pick Jacksonville because he's got this new sneaky way of when he knows he might be in trouble, then he picks with me so that he doesn't have to come in here on Monday and get humiliated. So it happened twice. You picked the New York Football Giants. This is way back when you thought they were still pretty good. To win at Dallas, do you remember that?
Yes.
And it didn't happen because my man Dak hit Tavon early on and it just broke the game open, and here we went. And then what happened? Detroit had just annihilated the New England Patriots, and they visited Jerry World, and you picked Detroit.
I picked Cowboys.
No, you didn't. I think you
I
picked
picked
Detroit.
Cowboys because you got upset.
Maybe. I don't remember that. I think you liked Detroit.
I want a case of do off you.
But what do you mean? I picked Dallas in that game.
I know.
Yeah,
I thought I was gonna win the case of do. You tried to give me talking about you give me this nonsense.
So Dallas has played 3 tough road games and lost all 3 of them, obviously, but he's won 2 games at home, and here comes Jacksonville, and you keep neither one of you mentioned that I got the defense that has allowed the fifth fewest points in pro football. It's so young, it just keeps getting better and better and better. No, you did, but you were talking about a veteran Jeff Fisher defense. This isn't like that. These are a bunch of kids who can really play, and they got David Irving back for the first time this Sunday, and they got Malik Collins coming off the injury. So all of a sudden, I got 2 more defensive tackles. I got a load of pass rushers. I can bring the heat. And Mike, is Byron Jones playing maybe the best cornerback in pro football? Have you been checking him out?
He's playing well. He's playing well. It looks like his natural position.
Yeah, I think so. So all of a sudden, you are putting all your money on Blake Bortles, who you have no respect for, and he picked a score of Jacksonville 24-13. He's got Blake Bortles scoring 24 on this defense that Deshaun Watson put up 2 field goals against.
Well, my bad. You know what?
Really?
Since you keep talking, I'm going 24-6 now.
Is one of those a defensive touchdown?
Yep.
24-6.
Yeah.
Okay. So will you give me 17 points
Nope.
then?
Give you
Why
10.
not?
I'm gonna give you whatever you
You're
score.
talking big and bold, but you won't put the do where your mouth
I
is.
did put the do. I got the Jag. ED, you love it. You say if ED take the Jag, I take the Jag, you take the Cowboys, you clear.
Yeah, you wide open.
I'm good.
Okay, well give me a bet then. I head up.
No, I'm the underdog. in
Okay,
this
I give you your 3 points. Give you a little piddly 3 points.
You
Take
said
a little piddly
24-6, so I'll take 12.
3.
How about 10? I'll take 10.
I give you the line.
No,
I give you the line. 3 points.
What you said school?
24-13.
No, he said 24-6.
Like 17-10.
Huh?
17-10.
You want to do?
Nope, I don't. I got 13-10 on my Cowboys. It's going to be low scoring. It'll be just like the Jacksonville-Tennessee game, and Jacksonville lost that game 9-6 at home. It'll be just like
I'm
that.
thinking Mariota better than that.
You know what I think? We need? We need an intervention. We need an intervention this year. You know, to maybe
I'm good.
He does.
I think we need.
He think they're going to the Super Bowl.
I told you they weren't gonna make the playoffs.
I'm
Skip.
good.
Didn't I tell you they were
Boy, it's a long season. It's just
They
starting.
not gonna make. Wait, imagine this. Imagine if the Cowboys. Let's just put on the crystal ball hat. Guys, the Cowboys are 5-0 like the Rams. What would we be talking about?
Oh my goodness.
What would we be saying? Really? We'd have to take the penalty part out of the game.
I'll be taking some PTO.
We'd have to.
Yeah. If the Cowboys were
5-0
undefeated,
playing like the Rams. I mean, the Rams.
We just caught that on camera because that's exactly what's going to happen sooner than later. Because this division is up for grabs.
No, it's not.
By the way, the winner of the division gets to actually go to the play. Do you know how that works?
Y'all not
Yeah.
winning. Three and
Skip.
Yeah.
Did you just see what the Eagles did?
Yeah, I thought they weren't very good.
I don't know that the
Frankly.
Eagles won, though. I think the Giants lost.
Yeah, I think Carson Wentz should have had at least 3
Walk it
interceptions.
to him.
Almost at least 3 interceptions.
You think Dak better than Carson Wentz?
No, I like that though.
But you don't think he's better than Carson?
I mean, you know what? I mean, I don't.
digging.
I mean, honestly, I like Dak a lot. I just feel like he's not getting the time to throw the football. It's almost when they say, it's like I got to get
Carson. He was tied for second in the league in sacks.
I know.
So how much time he gets to throw?
He was good to me, but hey, that night, but they've been on. You've been on him too.
Yeah.
You've been on him too. When you don't have time to throw the football, I don't care how great your arm is, and how accurate you are. If you don't got time, you
So,
can't.
Shannon
to the
Sharp,
receiver.
Yes.
does Dak Prescott have Alshon Jeffrey as his number 1 receiver?
No.
Does he have Zach Ertz as his number 1 tight end
Nope.
receiver? No, he does
No,
not.
Dak has some of the worst receivers.
Whoa!
They really do. Just
Hold on.
like I said, the 2016 Rams.
Hold on. I remember in 2016 we had the same conversation. I say, does Carson Wentz have a Dez Bryant? No, he doesn't. Does he have a Jason Witten? No, he doesn't. Yo, Dak's better. Now all of a sudden the tide is turned. Now it's low tide in Dallas. It's high tide in Philly. Now you want to talk about what he doesn't
Yeah,
have.
but what's funny is that Carson Wentz went into that game last night ranked 31st in third down conversions. How could that be?
How did he leave it?
I don't know. He threw picks all over the line.
No, he didn't.
Dropped them
He
all.
got 0. He had 0
He had
interceptions.
0, but it should have been at least 3, if not 4.
Do you know that Walking to him has played 1 fewer game than Dak, but has like 80 more yards, more touchdowns, and fewer interceptions?
I want to ask you, what are the Cowboys going to do? I go back to my team. See, the Rams, at least they upgraded. We got Brandon Cooks, we got Peter.
Right.
I mean,
Les Snead, he
we
went
got
to
Sue. I mean,
he went to battle.
what are y'all going to do from
I don't
this
know.
point
Ask
on?
Jerry Jones. The
No,
ultimate closure.
you the Cowboy insider.
No, he's resting on his Hall of Fame laurels now.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, he's just sitting back saying, I got this. I got the most valuable team in all the world. And we draw, we rate, and it just doesn't matter. We don't plunge.
You are what Dave McMenamin is to the Cleveland Cavaliers. You're that to the Cowboys. You're the insider, so you know. Matter of fact, I think I'd take the Cleveland. I think I'd take the Cleveland Browns right now, the Cowboys. The Cleveland Browns going to win more games than the Cowboys.
I like the Browns. I think the Browns are going to win 9 games if Baker Mayfield started. They'd be 5-0 right now.
They can still win. They ain't win those 9 games.
Yeah.
Well, they can win 8.
They're going to beat the Chargers this week.
Nah, that ain't
That's
happening.
your Super Bowl team.
I don't care nothing about that. I'm talking about your team. The Cowboys going down to the Jags. Jalen Ramsey going to be talking mad. Tyler Hearns know he used to get choked out in practice every day by Jalen Ramsey. So he and Boye ain't got that Bobby Boucher for him on ice.
Remember I said this. Tavon Austin gets behind them one time for one big catch.
That's
all I'm going to need.
Tavon Austin is a jet sweep, jailbreak screen, bubble screen guy. That's all he does.
I agree with that. I agree.
Deep ball catch.
Deep ball. No, I don't think he'll get behind the one. No.
Heard it here
17-10.
first.
All right, 17-10, Jack.
Well, I got 13-10, so we're not that far off.
But then you got the teams is different.
Yeah.
You got 24 points for Blake Bortles. How can you defend that?
And one is a defensive touchdown, so it's not all on Blake.
Yep.
Before we let you go, can I get your blessing to join the Rams bandwagon this year?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay, thank you.
I'm all over it.
I need
I'm
a
like
West
Skip with
Coast
my
team.
pom-poms.
Skip ain't got no pom-poms.
If
He won't have his pom-poms.
you got some pom-poms.
Just keep talking.
Hey, thank you so much for being here. Is Odell Beckham Jr.'s behavior the biggest problem for the Giants? Rob Parker answers that question. Question next. Well, the Giants were blown out 34-13 last night by the Eagles, and a lot of the attention has landed on Odell Beckham Jr. Beckham had a very disappointing night. He left the field and headed to the locker room before halftime, leaving the rest of the Giants' offense on the field. Beckham said he was cramping and needed an IV. Then in the second half, Beckham banged his head against a fan on the sideline and clearly looked frustrated. He finished with only 6 catches for 44 yards. All right, we're joined now in the studio by Rob Parker. Rob, rest of the season for the Giants, is Odell Beckham going to be a problem?
Yeah, it's going to be a problem. But the Giants already knew that. Shannon, I look at it like this. It would be like you marry an alcoholic, and then you're surprised on the way home they want to stop at the liquor store. It's just that simple. Because they already knew what they were getting. This is not different. This is not where you're trying to figure out and go, oh, wait a minute, where is this coming from? No, the only time he wasn't acting out, Skip, was when? Right before the contract, in training camp, right? That's when he got.
Skip said
For a couple of weeks. He's so talented. I get his frustration. I really do. And you know what? I blame the Giants organization and ownership. I blame Giants fans who all had a hissy fit and were all upset, right? When Jerry Reese and Ben McAdoo knew what was coming, and they tried to stop it. They said, no, Eli's not good enough anymore. And they were you could argue that it should have been Davis Webb instead of
that was my only complaint.
Gino, who we all know Gino can't play. So let's take a look at Davis Webb right on the lost season.
Right.
So that's my only argument. But the idea that they were going to take Eli out wasn't the issue. And everybody said, oh, we signed Saquon Barkley. You get a running back, you get your receivers back, and that'll give Eli, that'll help him upgrade the offensive line, and he should be helped. Has he been helped? Not at all. There's still, last year they were 1-5 at this point. Here they are again, another bad season en route. I'm not saying it's all Eli's fault, but if I was a receiver of Odell Beckham's talent, I would be upset that this is what I got. And no matter how poorly he plays, nothing's going to change. So the acting out part, I get it. You can't be mad at him because this is who he is. Right. We talk about this all the time. if you had a problem with him, what did he do last year with the kicking net and all the other stuff that went on, you could have easily said, we're going to get rid of him, make a trade, we're not going to give him the money. Because to me, when a guy's loud, Skip, prior to getting all the money, he's only going to be louder. Because now he has security. He's going to get paid. He knows it. The Giants knew it, and they're stuck with him. And he's going to act out for the rest of the year because here's another bad New York Football Giants season.
Well, you see, I'm going to take a little step further. You say he's going to act out for the rest of the year. He's going to act out as long as he's with the Giants. This is who he is. Money only makes you worse, makes you more of what you already are. And I get it. And people are like, well, Odell's not the problem. Is he the solution? So either you're part of the problem or you're part of the solution.
100%.
It's as simple as that. Okay, he's trying to get his team. Who gets inspired by Odell doing that? That's what I want to know. Who is he inspiring? Who is he firing up? Because he said he did, and he said what he said. He's trying to galvanize the team. He's trying to bring the team together. Who? Odell. You know what, Skip? If they were losing the game last night, and Odell had 10 for $155 and 2 touchdowns, and he's doing the same thing. Okay, I can live with that. Odell, even though he's going up, he said, man, I can't. No, bro. No, this is not good. But it's only when he's not getting 10 for $155 and a touchdown is when he gets the little piddly yards, the little piddly catch.
He had, 6 for 44?
Do we see him act out like this, Skip? So I'm not surprised, but here's the thing. And it's not all Odell's fault, because I believe if Odell could get the ball, it could help. Odell antics just keeps us from looking at some of the bigger problems. Eli Manning, offensive line, the defense. So, me, I'm smart enough. I can look all over the field. I can see, they foretold this. This is what Coach Belichick. Now, I'm not saying that he's right or wrong, but this is what Coach Belichick tried to prevent, Skip, is that you getting old on the job. And you will.
What does he always say? He'd rather get rid of you a year or two early than a year or two late.
That's the Branch Rickey,
right?
Yeah.
You're not going down the vine on me. I'm going to let somebody else pluck you. You down the vine on them.
Always trade a player 1 year before you think you should trade them.
Right. So that's the thing. And guess what, Skip? All the money in the world can't encourage him to do right. When you've been so accustomed.
Mostly it's going to encourage him to continue to do wrong.
Because guess what it got me, Skip? If a kid throws a tantrum in the grocery store, you give him ice cream, cookies, or candy.
They get right. They got
what to stop him, Skip, every time he goes into the grocery store from doing said tantrum? You rewarded him with that cheese. Why would he stop? You rewarded him. You rewarded Be careful how you reinforce negative behavior. But he's a part of the problem, but Eli's a bigger part, offensive line's a part, defense a part, Odell's a little part, but he's a part of the problem.
Yep. So, what are we seeing at the position of wide receiver in the National Football League? It has become the most volatile position in all of sports, because only at wide receiver in the NFL do you have NBA-like stars, because they get all the highlights. Right. They have all the big highlight catches that are equivalent of big dunks in the NBA.
Or they're dancing in the end zone.
Yeah, right. They're doing something that makes the top play, it's the Sports Center highlight. So, in this case, Odell, I laughed out loud on this show when they were talking about he's going to become the leader of our team. The leader of your team? But first of all, you can't be the leader of a team if you play the wide receiver position, because why is it the most frustrating position for them? It's the most dependent star position in all of sports, because you can't control your fate. You can't dribble the ball up the floor and say, I'm going to shoot this one.
You can't throw it to yourself.
You can't throw it to yourself.
Right.
Even the running back position, you're gonna if you're the lead back, you're gonna get 15 or 20 carries, but he's not gonna get 15 or 20 targets on every given night.
No.
And to your point, if he had a monster night, if he had 200 yards receiving last night, he wouldn't have done this, even in a loss, because he's about, in the end, and I think his heart's right, his head's just not in the right realm. He can't see clearly because he's the biggest star in New York. So, especially on Thursday night football, if he doesn't get his numbers or his shine, then he's going to go crazy and act out, and he's going to pout. I'm sorry. Again, maybe he did have a cramp. I don't know. It was 70 degrees and rainy, so that's not really a cramp night. But that was just a pout where he left the field at the end of the half with his offense still on the field for one more play.
It would be different if the defense was there, right?
Get away with it,
right?
That was a pout. That was just, he just went crazy because he.
Here's a good comparison is Julio Jones. Who was his last touchdown? When was the last
Yeah.
touchdown he got? Week 12 last year. Week 12. Do you see him? That's not in his makeup.
All those bad,
Do you know what I mean?
All those bad quarterbacks DeAndre Hopkins playing with, Skip, and they were losing. But with Odell is that I have to give Mike and Gary Kubiak a lot of credit because there were times, Skip, I didn't catch many passes. I might catch one pass. I might catch 3 passes, 20 yards or 30 yards. But they would always point out, 84. Although you didn't catch a bunch of passes, but look at this block. Look at this right here, what you did. So
Odell does not want to hear that.
But
Yeah.
Skip, what it did is that it refocused me that my value was more than just catching passes. That I could do other things to help the team win. That although the fans didn't see Shannon get in the end zone or Shannon catching 400 yards, they value what I did. My teammates saw what I did on film. So that was good enough. At the end of the day, I want my teammates' respect. I want my coach's trust. The fans will appreciate. Fans gonna come and go, and you might sign autograph, you might not. You might take a picture, you might not. You might say something that they deem inappropriate, and so they're gonna come and go. But as long as I got those guys in the locker room, the coaches and the players, I'm good. So Odell and receivers need to see their value as more than just catches and touchdowns. And if they did that, everything will be okay. But it's hard, Skip, because you don't think he's watching Thielen? Thielen got 5 games, 100 yards, and Odell said, I'm better than him.
Right. All I need is somebody to get me the football.
Look at AB. Man, AB get 12 targets a game. I'm on the level with AB.
AB's never happy either.
But that's his makeup, right? Some guys are like that, but I'm just saying the Giants. This is all on the
I'm
Giants.
gonna let him. You know what, Skip? I'm not gonna try to refute it. I'm gonna let him hide this as passion. That's passion. I'm gonna let him. It's passion. But that kind of passion that he's displaying ain't gonna win you no championship.
To your point, you just gave him $65 million guaranteed. You made him the highest paid wide receiver, and you are 1-5 because he can't do enough to put you over the top. He can't dominate games, control games, be the difference maker every game. As good as he is, he can't be that good at wide receiver.
But it's the same thing. I look at Saquon Barkley's having a great year, right? And it doesn't translate into wins. And that's another thing. Like them not getting a quarterback. Don't tell me now next year they have to find a quarterback. But you just let all these quarterbacks, franchise quarterback and a draft go by, and you didn't take a guy. So now they're going to be stuck trying to find a quarterback.
I'm holding out hope that Odell will eventually get it, but I don't know. There's a reason, and they probably started having the cameras on the sideline probably in the mid-90s. But I tweeted last night, Skip, tell me the guy that displayed these kind of antics that won the championship. Now, I just want to show me the receiver that displayed these kind of antics when things weren't going their way.
Just for the record, I covered Michael Irvin and Jerry Rice. They threw fits on the sideline, but they didn't leave. They didn't bail on the offense before halftime. The fits were to the wide receiver coach, just out of frustration. And once they got it out, they went back and they performed. But the only wide receiver leader of a football team I ever saw was Michael Irvin. I told you, he was the rocket fuel of those Cowboys teams. Should have won 4 straight Super Bowls in the early to mid-90s. But the point was, he didn't care about his numbers because they didn't throw it that much.
No.
Like you always say,
but
that was the age of running Emmitt Smith.
Right.
Troy Aikman averaged for his career 199 yards passing a game.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that.
So Michael Irvin would make the catches, but he wouldn't get 20 targets.
Well, it's kind of hard, Skip, when you got the all-time leading rusher. You're not going to have a guy that has 1,000 catches.
No.
Because they're running. They're running the ball down someone's throat.
Yeah. But in this league now, where everything's a pass and all these numbers are inflated, he's looking around going, what about me? Well, I should be tearing up the record book.
It's human nature.
Right?
Don't think I didn't look around and see what Tony was doing or what Ben Coates was doing.
You knew what they were doing.
Oh, absolutely. But like I said, Skip, I go pick up that red phone. I'm like, hey, all these plays that we put in, all this time I ran, you say, take this one with John because we're going to probably run into the game. And here, y'all not finna have me out here. Hey. But fans never saw that I was on that red phone. They thought I was making jokes. I was hot, Skip.
Okay, I got it. To me, I'm going to say it again. I said it before the contract. More trouble than he will be worth over time, unless you want to argue marquee value. If you want to argue that he will help you rate and draw, then he will.
I'm trying to win championships.
Right.
I ain't trying to do no ratings and drawing. I'm trying to
But
win championships.
he's a great talent, and I get a part of his frustration that he looks at what he has, and just realizes I'm going nowhere.
Don't be one of these guys because he's so extremely talented.
No, I'm just.
But as soon as the talent drop off, come on, Skip, this is Dez. I believe T.O. would have played an extra 2 years had he not done some of the things that he did in the past. Shouldn't that be a cautionary tale? I believe Ocho Cinco have another year in him.
I do too.
At some point in time, they're not going to that tolerance in production. When that production slips, bro, you got to go.
The league just said no to Des Bryant. They've been saying we're done.
And there's plenty of teams that need help.
Yeah.
That's the other
And guess
point.
what, Skip? Dez was still short. When Dez caught those 16 touchdowns in those 90, he was showing up late to meetings. He was showing up late to practice. He was showing up late to treatment.
Yeah.
But it was only when he wasn't getting 16 touchdowns. It was only when he couldn't catch you 90 balls for 1,400 yards that it became a problem. See, his production slipped, but his tolerance had to slip too. But they said, "Nah, we got to go, bro."
Maybe the Giants trade Odell and bring in a quarterback. That's another discussion for another time. Will the Patrick Mahomes magic carpet ride continue against Tom Brady on Sunday? We'll discuss that one coming up.
Yeah.
The 3-2 Patriots are a 3.5-point favorite at home against the Chiefs, despite Kansas City starting the season with a perfect 5-0 record. Patrick Mahomes leads the NFL with 14 touchdown passes, which are 2 more than Tom Brady. Offense shouldn't be a problem since the over-under is set at 59.5 points, which is the highest for an NFL game since 2004. So we're joined once again by Rob Parker in the
I was
studio.
going to leave, but when you said Patriots, I had to stick around.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder why.
So I feel like I know which way you're leaning in this one. Patriots, Chiefs.
I'm picking the Patriots.
Oh, what?
You know I'm not picking the Patriots. Thanks, Skip. You know I'm not.
Got me for a second.
Yes. I'm picking the Chiefs, and I know their defense is bad. That's why the high over-under is 59.5 or whatever it is. Because they're bad. They give up points or whatnot. But in this case, Patrick Mahomes has been curtailed the last couple of weeks. I think he's only got 1 touchdown, a couple of picks. So the Patriots defense will be the perfect general hospital of the NFL to make him well, because he'll be able to, I think we saw what Matthew Stafford did to that defense, and I think that Mahomes will be able to have his way with the Patriots defense, which ranks 16th. So just the middle of the pack, nothing special. And then offensively, Tom Brady, I know Skip, he's back, he's unbelievable, he's 41 years old, but the offense, total offense, is only 23rd in the league, so they haven't really been lighting it up. And also, the scoring is only 10. So this is a team that is definitely beatable, and Alex Smith tore them apart game 1 last year at Foxborough. I don't think it's the Patriots. When they beat Miami, I know everybody, that was the game where, oh yeah, look at how they destroyed Miami. Miami never got off the bus. They didn't even show up for that game.
They're still in Miami.
They were in Miami. That was so terrible. But in this case, I believe the Chiefs will continue their unbeaten streak. It won't be a masterpiece or anything because they don't have the defense to be a masterpiece, but they'll have enough to beat them. And Patrick Mahomes will take apart the Patriots' leaky defense.
I'm taking the Pats. It's just hard for a team to beat the Patriots in New England. Let's be that, especially an AFC team. Now, we've seen Kansas City go there and do that to them last year, but they were a different team. Had a healthy Justin Houston, healthy Eric Berry, and that was Kareem Hunt's coming out party. I don't think Coach Belichick will make the same mistake as in underestimating. I don't know if he underestimating. We just didn't know Kareem Hunt had this in him. He was a 3rd-round draft pick. He ran it well. He caught it well. He did some of everything. Alex Smith played unbelievable. The defense got after Tom Brady, especially in the second half. But I don't see that. Both of these defenses are bad. This is why the over-under is 59.5, the highest since 2004, because they don't expect either team to stop the other team. So you're going to get a high-scoring ball game. The Patriots offense, I believe Gronk is a lot healthier this week than he was last Thursday when he had missed the last half of the Miami game because of that weak ankle. He tweaked his ankle. Sonny Michel is running the ball extremely well. They get Edelman as another week. Josh Gordon, another week up under his belt. They'll give him some more opportunities. I just think they'll coax Pat Mahomes into a few mistakes. And the difference between the Jacksonville's offense and the Patriots offense, when they get those mistakes, they won't turn the ball back over to Kansas City. Tom Brady's going to put the ball in the end zone. So I got a high-scoring game. I'm going to go 38-34.
38 to 34, so sharp.
I'm going to get a score.
Patriot, what was yours?
No, I'll give you
Go ahead.
31-27. 31-27.
So, Patriot hater Rob Parker failed to point out that the reason Tom Brady's offense is ranked only 10th in scoring is because Julian Edelman just came back from his 4-game suspension, and Josh Gordon is just now emerging as maybe a favorite long-distance target of Tom Brady. So all of a sudden you've added two huge weapons, maybe a nuclear weapon in Josh Gordon.
Wait a minute, I got to stop. Shannon, his narrative about Tom Brady always is that he could get somebody from 7-Eleven.
Well, that's what he had to do.
Am I right?
Well,
so,
he
but
was
now,
7-Eleven.
but now when he's not doing as well, you say he doesn't have anybody.
But
you always said he never had anybody.
Okay, but to be ranked 10th in points scored with 7-Eleven receivers, that's pretty great.
Well, I mean,
right?
Julian Edelman just sort of okay. Because remember, you tell me he was 7th round draft pick.
Well, that's all he is. He played quarterback in college.
They can play.
Wow.
Even in the NFL.
He's in the NFL.
Chris Hogan, they called him 7-Eleven.
Right.
Literally, they called him that because he was always open,
And
right?
what did he do in the Super Bowl?
Undrafted
What did he do in the
Monmouth.
What did he do in the Super Bowl?
Oh, he had a couple of moments.
You know what you did.
Brandon Cooks got hurt in the Super Bowl, had a concussion in the first quarter. I don't know how Brady did it in the Super Bowl.
He had 3 guys over 100 yards. You do know how he did it.
And one of them is in Miami now, and he didn't get off the bus apparently, right?
He didn't get off the
Danny
bus.
Amendola. So the big worry here for me is Bill Belichick's defense, because it is really overrated, because Bill Belichick as a coordinator, and we know he's still the coordinator, is very overrated.
No, he's not.
Shannon Sharp gives him 75% of the credit for this dynasty. You'd probably give him like 95% credit, right?
It just depends on whether or not he has the defensive signals of the other team.
Oh,
Then
so
we have
that's
to-
how you go.
Yes.
So he must not have any signals, because in the Super Bowl, Nick Foles scored him for 41 points and 538 yards. Jacksonville 31 points and 480 yards earlier this year. Detroit, you called that game, 26 points by Matt Stafford's offense, 414 yards. And look at all these third down conversions, 10 of 16, 10 of 14, 7 of 14. Even Andrew Luck went 9 of 18 on 3rd and 4th down. Are you kidding me?
But you know what? You know what Skip Bayless won't do? In 2001, he held 2-time league MVP Kurt Warner, Super Bowl MVP Kurt Warner, two-time offensive player of the year.
Ancient history, ancient. That was back when he had his fastball. I don't know. That was back when he actually had to find people who could play defense, because Tom Brady has afforded him the luxury of, I'll just take this guy.
You didn't say nothing when he had Troy Brown playing on the defense.
Well, that's ancient history.
Okay, what
And
about
you got to factor in now that he's trying to sabotage Tom Brady's career now.
Well,
Well, if you don't mind me asking, what are we going to do about those fourth quarters that he held Jacksonville, Seattle, and Atlanta scoring? Did he have his fastball then?
Jacksonville in the AFC Championship.
Yes.
While Tom Brady was throwing for 138 in the fourth
Well, remember,
quarter with 12 stitches
It was
in his
20
hand.
to 10 going into the
Hold
fourth
on,
quarter.
but in
Jacksonville.
But in the fourth quarter against, what was the difference between the fourth quarter against?
Tom Brady had the football. He controlled.
Oh no!
That's what he's going to
These
do
two
against
will go
Gold.
at it.
When the
Thank
team
you for
scores
being
in
here.
the fourth
Always
quarter,
good to
they
see you,
lose.
Rob.
When they don't, they
One of the
win.
most entertaining characters, aside from these two here, in the NBA, is in the house. Nick Young,
Thank you.
Swaggy.
The fact is, there are over 9,600 roads named Park in the U.S., but no matter what park you live on, one of 10,000 local Allstate agents knows yours. Now that you know the truth, are you in good hands?
Is here, and he's going to join us for the next segment. Welcome back, everybody. We're joined by an 11-year NBA veteran who won his first NBA title last season with the Warriors. So Nick Young, welcome to Undisputed. NBA champion Nick Young, Swaggy in the studio.
Champion sounds good. You got these cups, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sure?
Is there anything in there?
It ain't got none of my stuff. It ain't got none of my potion up in that thing, but you good?
I'm just saying a lot of people listen to hip this. I might need to.
No. We change. We get a different cup every time. No, we wouldn't do you like that. We got love money out here.
Nick, it is good to see you. It is good to have you on the show right now. Warriors have won 3 of the last 4 championships. You were there for it last year. How long is this dynasty going to go?
I say it's getting tougher and tougher each year.
Yeah.
Especially they're just so used to winning. That's what I seen last year. It wasn't like no fight until like we got into a fight with.
Yeah.
So I think it take a couple punches.
So start slow, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's gonna be interesting.
I think it's contingent. It'll keep going as long as KD can upset the apple cart. Because if KD gets off this train, you know and I know. Because they're a different team. They were not the same team without KD. KD is the one guy that can go get his own shot no matter what happens. He can do it.
Yeah, but they still won without. They won before.
Yeah,
got
but
there.
they got KD for a reason.
Yeah, I don't know. Like KD's unstoppable.
Yeah.
He's 6'11". I've seen him in games where there's nothing you can do to him. You know, I think he can score anybody.
So would you take him over LeBron right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's too different.
They're very different.
Very different.
Yeah.
It depends. I like to start like the team. Like I don't know. It depends. Like the Lakers, I would have LeBron for sure. They pass.
Sure. But KD plays a little defense, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Sure.
But
I'm not about to. You know, I like KD. He won me a championship.
Yeah, you did. So you know him well enough just to have a gut feeling. Where do you think he goes next year? Does he stay? Go? Does he go to the Lakers? Does he go to the Knicks? What's your gut? If you had to bet on it right now.
For sure, I don't think he goes to the Lakers.
Okay. Because why? Wouldn't want to team up with LeBron?
Yeah, I think he don't want to do that. I think he already been called the snake and all that. I think going there would probably just. But I don't know. He embraces it now. So I think he goes to. I think he stays. He likes to win every day.
Well, if he stays, they're going to keep on keeping on. Right?
I know a guy that's 6'10", 6'11", that's gonna join up with LeBron.
Oh,
He got a D
guy.
in his last
Another
name.
D. Yeah.
AD. You know what's happening. You know what's up.
He does not know what's up.
No, I think KD, if he do leave, he go to New York.
Knicks.
Yeah.
Right?
Join Kyrie. But Kyrie said he stayed in Boston. That's what Kyrie said now.
Go with Kawhi.
Kawhi going to stay in Toronto. He seemed to be liking Toronto. You see Kawhi ball to skip up to Toronto.
With him and Porzingis.
Okay, KD and Porzingis.
Yeah. So who joins LeBron next year? What's your gut on that?
I don't know. I think LeBron is just gonna have fun in LA by himself and let these guys
That
grow.
could happen. Yeah.
What do you
No,
think?
LeBron ain't gonna. Look here, LeBron's gonna be as patient as long as he can.
But they good though.
Man,
Young guys is good.
good. See, you're good and LeBron good is 2,000 different things. LeBron good means getting to the finals and winning.
I think they actually compete with the Warriors though.
Now?
Yeah.
Really?
He's not the only person that thinks that. A lot of people think that.
Hey, explain how.
They just like young and like they match up well. Like I just say teams like when we played Houston, the matchup was switching. And they had Trevor and PJ that switched everything.
Yeah.
He couldn't
Capella
find
switch.
and Capella. He couldn't.
You were in trouble in that. If CP3 doesn't pull his in, you say,
Iguodala didn't get hurt.
all right. Yeah.
But it's just things like that. Like they got BI, they got Kuzma, they got Ball that you can switch anybody.
Yeah.
But
And
then
with
LeBron
LeBron.
used to can shoot. These guys are slashing to the basket. LeBron used to driving and kicking and guys that can shoot the three with Korver and Ray Allen and JR and Battier, Kevin Love. Who those guys? B.I. ain't doing that. Kuz not doing that. Josh Hart's not doing it. Rondo?
But they can hoop though.
Yeah, but you know it's a 3-point league now. You know that.
Well, he knows it because he's that guy.
Yeah, exactly. But they could get somebody. They could still get people that could shoot threes. What it?
Well, they
You
can't.
gonna wait till the trade deadline to
No,
get
I don't
You
know.
have off season to get somebody.
And I got to tell you, the Warriors do play the other end of the floor. They will play some defense, and it's part of it was part of your culture in Golden State. You have to. You're not going to be out there long if you don't defend. I don't know that the Lakers are going to defend anybody. They might outscore some teams, but I just don't. LeBron doesn't. It's like an afterthought to him now.
Well, let's see. I think they're gonna be alright. I think they make the playoffs. If they play against the Warriors, it won't be a sweep.
No.
No.
They're not playing the Warriors. They probably might get the Warriors in the second round.
Well, eight
Get 'em in the first.
versus one.
Yeah, but
That ain't gonna be no AC.
Yeah.
Skip, stop saying that. They're not gonna be the AC.
Yeah, I'm saying,
But
Okay, I'll give him a game. I'll give him 5.
No, we're gonna get the best the first round.
Oh.
So we gotta miss the Warriors to get past that first round. But here's the thing. See, Skip, that's usually what he's trying to do. He always try to put LeBron. They got Draymond, who's one defensive player of the year. They got a great two-way player in Clay, and now they insert Bale in the starting lineup. Okay, KD is the help side. KD is not really on ball. KD is a help defender. So you can hide a lot of
He's
things.
making a case he deserves some consideration for Defensive Player of the Year.
And he got some.
And Clay would like to be this year first team all defense.
Yeah, he should. Yeah, Clay is tremendous on. Yeah,
Wow.
and to do what he has to do on the offensive end. Yeah, absolutely.
Very tough. I've seen that person. He has to guard everybody. Get a shot off.
From Harden to Russ.
Did you go against Clay in practice? Would he take you a lot?
We ain't really practiced that much.
Really? Okay.
We just worked on our stuff. But yeah, I have to guard off there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had to guard you, is the question, right? Yeah. So I've always wanted to ask you this. What's the origin of Swaggy P? I read about it, but how did it come to you? Where did it come from? Just in a dream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like heaven sent.
Okay.
I don't want to get
and
into
it's
all
like
this. It's
you,
very biblical.
like you said, it's pseudo-biblical. Sort
Yeah.
of, okay. Like prophet, P is for prophet.
God came to you in a dream one night and said, "You know what?
Yeah.
Wake up. I want you to be Swaggy P."
Yeah, kind of like that. You know, we had a longer conversation. Okay. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
You was in the league for 11 years, and hopefully you get back into the league. But when you look back at your career, would you do things differently? Because the way you're perceived and the way you actually are.
Yeah, but nah, I wouldn't. I like being who I am. Enjoy being Swaggy P. I know a lot of people might rub a lot of people the wrong way, but it's me. I'm not like a bad guy. I'm not like causing trouble or anything.
So what's the fallout from the D'Angelo incident? If you see him now, are you good?
Swinging on it.
Right,
Yeah, Nick, you swinging on it.
Hey, Nick's got a ring.
Yeah.
No, ain't no ring. No. Nick was supposed to have another ring by now, too. Nick's supposed to be 2 rings up. But he called, Nick, tell me. You know what you're supposed to do. That's unwritten rule.
Yeah. But, you know, I don't know.
Did you swing on it?
A lot of stuff
You
happens.
put the pause on it. You put the pause on it. I know you put the pause on it. You put the pause on it. I knew it. You're supposed to.
Nick, we're gonna let you off the hook with this one, but you've always been one of my favorite interviews, so thank you for stopping by with us.
No mercy.
Thank you for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Keep an eye out for the weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Facts, sports, one of one.